Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
This week's riots in Southport and elsewhere were, of course, reprehensible. To attack a mosque where ordinary Muslims go to pray would have been wrong even if it had been in response to an attack by Islamic terrorists. That those lobbing bricks at the police and setting their vehicles alight were acting on disinformation makes them look foolish as well as disgraceful. But if Britain's liberal elite had been deliberately trying to drive people into the arms of the rabble-rousers, they could not have done a better job of it. They have done everything they can to fuel the underlying sense that the white working class is being treated very differently from the rest of the population. On Thursday, the Prime Minister held a press conference in which he lost no time in asserting that the Southport riots were clearly driven by far-right hatred. He refused to acknowledge that any of those who took to the streets might have been motivated by reasonable concerns about the safety of children. No, each and every one of them were just far-right thugs trying to spread hate. Nor, by the way, did Keir Starmer mention in his press conference other recent cases of public disorder, which had nothing to do with the far right, such as the machete fight in Southend on Tuesday night, the attack on police at Manchester Airport last week, nor the riots in the Hare Hills area of Leeds. Those equally concerning events don't seem to feature even nearly as prominently on the radar of the liberal left, because they don't feed its preferred narrative that Britain is a happy, diverse community spoiled only by hate-mongering on the part of the far right. Starmer, to be fair, did condemn the Leeds riots at the time they happened 2 weeks ago, but he studiously avoided blaming any group. On the contrary, a Downing Street statement demanded that people did not rush to speculate on the reasons behind the riots, which seemed to have started after social workers removed children from a Roma family. We know what to expect, because it has happened many times before. Riots in neighborhoods with high ethnic populations tend to be followed by inquiries which seek to settle the grievances which lie behind them. After the Brixton and Toxteth riots in 1981, for example, we had the Scarman report, while Michael Heseltine was dispatched to Liverpool to shower the poorer parts of the city with money. Those efforts were warmly praised across the political spectrum. Yet how has the government responded to the Southport riots? Not by calling an inquiry into what lies behind them, only by announcing stronger powers for police to track down perpetrators, all stick and no carrot, in other words. The same seems to have happened on multiple occasions when working-class communities have protested, whether it be against low-traffic neighborhoods, London's ultra-low emission zone, or COVID lockdowns. All have been dismissed as being incited by far-right conspiracy theorists. Think what you like about councils erecting bollards and installing cameras to stop people driving to the shops, but those who oppose such measures hardly deserve to be treated like Nazis. The government needs to recognize that the Southport riots did not happen in a vacuum. I haven't heard anyone in power admit it, but there is an unfortunate backstory which may explain why people reacted to the killing of 3 girls, not to mention the injuries and mental trauma inflicted on many others, by seeking out a mosque. For years, police, social services, and other agencies failed properly to investigate gangs of men of Pakistani heritage who had been raping and sexually exploiting girls in Rotherham, Rochdale, and elsewhere. Again, it cannot be emphasized strongly enough that it is very wrong to project the crimes of the rapists onto Britain's Pakistani population as a whole. That is the point at which legitimate demand for justice spills over into racism. But when these gangs were eventually brought to justice, it became clear from their trials that police and social services had been doing the opposite. They had been influenced by what the then Home Secretary Theresa May called institutional political correctness in failing to take the victims' allegations seriously enough. As the former Labour Minister Dennis McShane put it, there was a culture of not wanting to rock the multicultural community boat. But it is that sore.